taken for both Spanish and Latin. In order to receive the credit, the student must pass the CRES and the course. We have an 89% pass rate for Latin 1, and we have a 94% pass rate for Spanish. We are sending the vast majority of the students that took a level 1 foreign language, they are earning their high school credit for that foreign language. We had 2 students that won the design and ad contest that was submitted by one of our 6th grade teachers. And it is our very first time sending students to the FCPS elementary and middle track meet, and we sent 34 students to that track meet in grades 5 through 8. So those are just a few of the many fabulous things we've had going on here. We had recently our 8th grade promotion ceremony, our 8th grade class trip, and both of those were great successes, and we're looking forward to continuing that tradition. And we're just really excited. I feel like we're closing out a really great school year, and next year's going to be even better. That's it.
So this time, as you know, we added a staff liaison to the board at the beginning of the year. So Mr. Bickle is our staff liaison. So I've asked him to just say a few words on his thoughts, how it went, so the community can know how the staff liaison is working with the board.
All right, first I want to thank everyone for being here. I think this is the best year we've had yet. It's only our 3rd year. And I feel like this year in particular, we've made more strides this year than any other. And specifically just some of the events that we've had so far this year that are firsts. And I feel like in the coming year, now that we've done them once, that they're going to get better each and every year. And that's saying a lot since some of those events went the first time. Fantastic. I keep thinking about, when I was thinking about what I was going to say tonight, I thought, thinking of where we came from the very first year, we didn't have a lot of space. We were only K through 6, and now all of a sudden we're K through 8. We have more space, and we've come a long way. We took a lot on our plate in the first 3 years, and I feel like in the 4th year, now that we are a full school, that we can really make some strides to become even better. So I want to thank you all for coming tonight, especially since it is important for your child's education, and I feel that it's only going to get better from here, so stay with us.
I forgot one more thing. Mr. Bickle standing up reminded me of it. So last year we had our very first field day, and this year we got to have our very first inside field day because of the never-ending rain or threat of rain. Mr. Bickle and Mrs. Price did an amazing job planning for both. Our faculty did an amazing job making the best of indoor
was 12 is what we had the last count. We highly encourage you to provide that feedback. If we don't know what's going really well, what issues we'd like to see improved, then we obviously don't really have much to go on for where we need to focus our areas of improvements. So this is a list of the survey information and deep dives from last year and some of the actionables that were put into place. So I just bring that back up so you can see that your feedback is really taken to heart. We really do look at it. We do try to make improvements based on it, working with administration and staff and parents and students all together collectively is how we're going to continue making our years successful. Now I'll hand it over to Tim for financial.
All right, thank you, Jen. Quick financial update as we're nearing our year end at 6:30. That's our fiscal year end cutoff. We have auditors coming in July. That's our routine annual independent audit. Due to the enrollment shortfall of 7 students, we get funded on a per student basis, $8,905 per student. We're looking at a year end deficit. Our break even was about 356 students this year. We're projecting the ending working capital or cash balance less bills that are waiting to be paid of about $120,000. That's an important number because since we have to pay for our own facility, when the lease expires in 2021, it would be wise for us to have at least $250,000 in the bank to use as a security deposit if necessary. That's what our current lease guarantee, that's the amount of our current lease guarantee, was provided by a charity that helps support charter schools getting started. At the end of our lease, we probably need to be able to stand on our own feet because the charities may not want to help us at that point since we've been in existence for 8 years. So getting that 120 up to 250 over the next 5 years is really, would be very prudent for us. And that would give us more options at the end of the lease. If we decide to change facilities, we'd be better able to do it. On the next slide is just an allocation of a pie chart showing the expense breakdown year to date. So this is as of May 31st. The financials will probably be up on the website soon. As you can see, the vast majority of our money is put towards salaries and benefits. And then the next largest would be facilities. The salaries and benefits is about $2.2 million, and facilities is $671,000. That includes our lease, certain upkeep, and different fees that we have to pay to our landlord as part of the lease in addition to base rent. So that just gives kind of an idea of where the money's going. It's almost all salaries and our facility. And then on the final slide, this is something I'm happy to circulate or discuss separately because I know it's a little dense. But this shows how Frederick County calculates our per pupil funding. That first column in the top left, we have $465 million. That's Frederick County's total cost for all items that they count in determining our per pupil calculation. If you divide it by $40,000 or 40,000 students in the county, you get that per pupil rate of $11,392. If that were the case, we would have quite a good surplus this year. But Frederick County will then deduct certain things that they either provide to us or that they say don't count for our school. So that's where those next lines are for admin. The total cost to FCCS is $78,000. One worth highlighting is special ed. That's a service provided by the county to us. FCCS effectively pays $406,000 for that service, which is a very substantial amount of money probably for how much we actually utilize the service or how much they even provide to us. Probably a better way to put that. The next one worth highlighting is transportation. FCCS entered into litigation against Frederick County in its first year in order to have that transportation included in its funding calculation. So far, the courts have ruled that because our charter specifically states that parents are responsible for providing transportation, where also in our charter goes on to say that in the future we decide to contract for transportation, we can do so. That sounds to me like you might be able to get money if you contract. So we're looking into that. It's very early stage now. And then the official per pupil calculation is at $8,905. Frederick County then tacks on additional technology buybacks for another $40,000, which are not carefully documented. We don't get detail on what that is. And that's one of those things where we would like better clarity. And thanks to Governor Hogan, the state is doing an evaluation of how charter schools are being charged by counties and how they're being funded. They're really focused. They hired an outside independent group to conduct a survey. And we've done our part and spoken with them and provided them information. And they're extremely interested in that sort of thing. In Baltimore City, the city actually changed the way they're doing their funding to be more like Frederick. And in September, I believe it was 7 charter schools filed a lawsuit against the city there to fight it. So hopefully some of these funding issues will be resolved through political measures in the coming years. We'll see how it goes. So the point of all that is, one, to kind of give an idea of how it works, and two, just to stress the importance of the Board of Ed elections. Really pay attention to what each person stands for, and we try to provide info so that people at least be informed. It's extremely important to be informed when you pick those names out of that list.
You can see at the top, it says renewal, and then there's a date. So
have a long list of stuff we're trying to take care of in the school. We're looking for some volunteers to come in, we set up different times. We're going to be putting the PA system in the school for announcements. We're going to be doing some painting of the lower half of the school, repair all the damage to the lower walls. And we also have some floors that need to be taken care of. And all this is volunteer work as much as we can do. We also have some drywall repair that's going to happen in the cafeteria. Some minor things like that. There'll be some other small things. Some door locks to be installed. Some painting, some ceiling tile repair, and things like that. So if anyone's interested, please contact me. I'll have my number available, my cell phone number, and my email address, and you can get in touch with me and set up a time that you're available to help. That's it. Thank you.
Elections. I'm going to turn that over to Paul. Next year is elections for board officers and trustees. So he'll just give a minor update. We'll give more next year.
Yeah, basically it's a relatively simple process. There's a three-tier process for anyone know the difference between a board trustee member and an officer?
Yeah, I am, and he's moving around too.
Anyone know the difference between a trustee and a board and an officer? Okay, start there. All right, board trustee members. Then a parent or someone who's involved in just directing the school, keeping us focused on the charter, the point of the charter, points of the charter. While an officer is more or less the president, vice president, secretary. Those are the officers. Those are and treasurer. Treasurer. Those are the officers. Those people have a little bit more than just board trustee member. They're a little bit higher, a notch above. But there's a three-step process to like them. Am I clear so far? All right, good. Three-step process for officers, two-step process for board trustee members. First one is to write a letter of intent. So if anyone wanted to be on the board of trustees, you could write a letter saying, I would like to join the board, put your resume, and those type of things. The second process would be an interview. You get interviewed by people on the board, and they would say, they have a conversation with you about why you want to be on the board, what's your focus, why are you here, what can you contribute, and so on and so forth. Or what's your plan? What's your purpose for applying? The third, so that would be if you're being a regular board of trustee member. If you're an officer, there's a third step involved where then you can get interviewed by you, the parents, the people, other stakeholders in the community. You get to sit there and ask questions and ask them a little bit more detail about why you want to be in that position. So as we said, in the fall, everyone, we may need to tweak that a bit. As Jen pointed out the other night, it's probably not necessarily the best idea to have everyone up at the same time. So in other words, you have a board say of 10 people and everyone's up at the same time. So then you don't have any consistency. You don't have any, oh well, here's how we did it last time because everyone might be new. So then they'll be reinventing the wheel again. So we may need to tweak that. But at this point, this is how it is. In the fall, everyone on the board will be up for re-election again. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
So I think ideally you have a board that is diversified, like there would be people from the community on the board, not just people like from our school.
That would be an ideal word.
So I just wondered, like, I don't know, how does that happen? How do we get it out there that there's people with good hearts that have a desire to serve, maybe more mature, I don't know. How do we share the word that they could be on our school's board?
That's a good question. There are lots of ways to get it out there. Keep in mind also there are other committees, like an advisory committee. There are other people on the advisory committee. So that person would also have to be willing to put in the investment time to be at the meetings, to be on the board of trustees. So advisory committee might be that's just someone who just has a general interest in the school.
I just think it might be healthy for the board, to have outside perspective.
Absolutely, right.
So maybe
right.
just the advisory is what you're thinking, yeah.
No, I'm just saying both are available,
yeah.
but that too is another way for someone in the community who may not be as invested as, say, a parent or someone who's closer to the school, to be involved in the process of moving the school towards the charter, or the goals of the charter.
Yeah, just something to think about. I don't know, do we put that in the newspaper, or how do you, I think it might be good for us to have, I'm not saying you're doing a bad job at all, I'm
And
just.
that's very true, it would be very healthy,
Yeah.
very healthy. And also, the charter does talk about that having outside eyes looking at it, so number one, it maintains our integrity. gives that kind of a high perspective where if I'm not emotionally involved necessarily
Right,
in the daily grind, I can see from a different perspective and also kind of say, okay, we're kind of off, we've left the point, let's
Yeah.
get back on
Yeah.
track. Any other questions?
I was going to make a comment just to answer your question. You know, not just board members, but just families here in our school, just word of mouth. If you know somebody who's, maybe you know through your church, or maybe one of your coworkers at a job that you have, or a neighbor who seems to be pretty politically active, just word of mouth. Say, hey, you know, somebody said you retired, has a little extra time, tell them a little about school. I know past board members and officers we've talked with people in the community that have an interest in education to see if they were interested in doing a non-paid board or trustee kind of membership in the board. The challenge is that it is unpaid and it does take time. So, but anybody who goes to our school, if you have a neighbor, a coworker, a relative, a friend, anybody who takes an interest in things in the community or, you know, politics or anything like that. So just word of mouth.
And I think also the other perspective on that is anytime we get other people who are not necessarily within our school walls or extended walls, they may have other connections that are helpful to us, political connections that Sue brought up, and or social collections. So maybe you know a company or a business that might be willing to come in and help with that drywall or pave or you know those type of things. So those connections are also healthy for any corporation. Any other questions? Going once?
All right, so just one of the other things that, I don't think Michelle is here right now, so I'll speak. Because, well, she won't have it thrown on the spot. I put the homework help on because I know it's one, that has been a desire. So the academics committee, Michelle is a liaison on the board, but they have a new, chairperson, and the name is Justine Somani, sorry. And anyway, so they have been, I think it's the last 6 weeks. It'll be 3 or 4 weeks. They've been doing a trial run of getting homework help sessions back up and running. And I think right now it is teacher recommended, and because they're keeping it small, they have a few parent volunteers that are helping, but they just wanted to kind of get some kinks worked out at the end of the year so that they can perfect it and get going for it next year. But if anybody's interested in supporting that program or can sit in to help with homework sessions, then please reach out.
Is it run like a club that follows after the school lets out?
I believe that it's recommended, so it's recommended by the teacher, and then the parent is notified, and then the parent would choose whether their child
Like a
participated.
tutor almost in some ways, but it's just homework help?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a
So
like,
it's individualized.
yeah, with a group of people. I mean, there's several students, and then that's my understanding. Several students that are recommended, and then they have 3 or 4 volunteers, I think, right now running it.
I just wonder if you call it homework club, it takes a little bit of that stigma away from it, and it makes it more of a fun, and you can utilize the upperclassmen
Yes.
to mentor.
Yeah, we've looked into some of that, but yeah, the name, thank you. So then, off of that, we have an update for the band and orchestra. I know that that's been a big thing, so we want to make sure that we get
They're very good.
I want to say that's the instructor. I don't know that specific.
I just didn't know if it was like 2 years or more of band is advanced.
Or would it be
Just
audition
clarification.
based?
I'm sorry.
Would it be audition based? Like, are you asking whether it would be
Yeah.
audition based or
And I think a
time?
lot of it will probably depend on whoever for that advanced piece who we contract, if, you know what I mean, what elements they have based on that, because, I mean, I don't know, we'll probably work with them to say what more of our desires would be, but once we contract, we'll be able to give you more information on that.
This is more just, I just don't want to be like, oh, no, honey, your kids are advanced band.
Yeah, I guess.
As far as the contract for those funding, is this coming from the school budget or is this through the booster or how is this being funded?
Right, we are looking at that, obviously, as Tim went, financially, we're very stretched thin. So, it's not, we're gonna, we want to evaluate what we have to
Basic
offer,
gifts.
but that is one element where boosters will be able to, because
Yes,
as
for
we
beginners.
said, boosters cannot pay for faculty, but they can pay or help subsidize some of the costs for an after-school program, because it's no longer, within the FCPS. You know, they're not employees, so boosters can help in that, realm. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, it's being taken away from third graders. There's no option of maybe doing the same thing for third graders, hiring somebody to come after, make an after school program for the third graders, since they no longer are going to be able to participate during the day. And if their fourth graders seem to be really low that are staying, does that give an opportunity for, like, let's say fourth grade beginners, right? That's where my child probably still be at. If there's not any fourth graders, beginners that want to be there, would it then become an option for maybe some third graders to participate if they are willing to? Or is there any option at all for any third graders to get some kind of musical instrument here at FCPS?
Right, for the after-school.
After school or during school?
Right.
I mean, during school, I know it's being cut off, but I'm saying, if
Yeah.
there's not a, let's say not all the fourth graders come back,
Right.
and half of them come back. Would that maybe open the door for some third graders to be able to participate in there to fulfill that space? Or is there even an option to where we can do the same thing that you're doing and keep the advanced orchestra going after school to do something like that for the beginners, third graders who would be interested in?
I think after school, nothing is probably off the table exactly. We would have, whoever we consult with, we
Right.
obviously don't want to have multiple contracts, because the more they can take on, probably the more financially beneficial it is for them. So we could definitely put that on the table to see if they would be interested in that component after school as for the part of the program.
So, I mean, so would maybe if, and I know this is really hard to do, so, and I'm not saying that I really want to be able to pull this off, but if we had some parents who maybe contacted musical arts or other musical schools around here, that we could say, hey, would you be willing to come volunteer your time, and of course, we would recommend people from you, or maybe do the additional stuff for you, would that be an option? If you could say, look for an option to start with theirs?
Yeah, we can, we had a board member that is actively reaching out to different areas to see, for different people, to see what they can offer, or what the cost is. So I don't think anything is on the table, but we have to, we don't mind anybody reaching out, they need to find out information.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you're looking out for advanced, but are you also questioning for beginners for third, like, is there anything being looked at for the third grade, make it a possibility for them to still do some kind of instrument?
Right, and that's what I'm saying, nothing is off the table, so I'll take that recommendation, we focus on advance.
Well, really, there is no focus on beginners for third grade.
Not outside, it's not in, but we can certainly look into that, as part of our process.
Can you just clarify about the removal of after school beginning band? It sounded like you said that that's not going to be during the day or not anymore after school. Is that?
Right, well, that's what they were asking, what we had discussed was advanced band orchestras, that's what she was asking, and I said, nothing in after school is off the table, because obviously, whoever we're contracting with, or whatever, we can talk about all the different areas of interest for parents.
now we have. But beginners is still being done during the school day, or fourth and fifth grade.
Is course affected in any way for middle schoolers because of these changes?
Not at this time, whatever their work, I'm assuming their choices were, but that's a teacher's choice.
Well, I just think to clarify, and maybe don't use the words beginning in advance, because like what she was saying, like you might have a sixth grader that in your mind is beginning. I think the point is fourth and fifth graders can take band during school, and everyone else is gonna have to be after school, but maybe don't use the words beginning in advance. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we're all at different levels of playing ability.
There's no middle school during the day beginning game.
Right.
But nothing's off the table for after school. I know I've got a rising seventh grader that's dying to start a London survey. So after school programs, we're just looking at.
We're looking at what offerings to, what we are, the main focus right now is to try the best we can to maintain what was occurring this year and the previous years. Like this has been year one and year two.
Right.
So we are also looking at numbers and, you know, the interest level and all of that kind of stuff goes into it as well. But, you know, I know we have, if Shelley, you want to take it, because you're the one that's doing more of the legwork in this area on,
I mean, right now, the only thing that we've looked at is continuing, as Jen said, the current program that we have now, which is offering advanced for our middle school group and beginner for our elementary school age. It's not off the table. I mean, there are sufficient, if there are enough kids to warrant us having an instructor come in for beginner at an older age for our middle school groups, then we can look into that. But we have to have sufficient kids to be able to sustain that program. So right now, we're just trying to make sure that our kids that are starting out with beginners in third and fourth and fifth grade, once they get to the middle school age, that they can still continue to play. I think it's just kind of the best way for us to sustain our programs with the limited staffing that we have during the school day.
So my question is, I know that we're trying to consist with what we're having this year. So is this something that's gonna happen next year as well, that fourth graders will then next year not be able to participate? Or is it next year gonna be
No,
more
we're,
possible for the fourth graders to participate?
I mean,
So like,
the next school year, fourth and fifth grade will
no, I'm
continue.
talking about
through
the
the school
next
day.
coming year. Like I
The
know
following year, fourth and
the
fifth
following
grade will continue.
will continue.
So once they get into sixth grade, they'll be bumped into the after-school program. So they'll continue to do that. I think which is our other way of figuring out how can we sustain a program that will continue each year without having to worry about cuts or, you know, if we have sufficient funds because we need additional staff. If we kept our fourth and fifth graders during the school year, once they hit sixth grade, they would then bump into the after-school program. And as I said, if there are enough kids for a beginner after school, then we can look into that. I'm not sure. I mean, right now our numbers are like 12 kids for advanced orchestra and 12 kids for advanced band. So we could possibly sustain a program after school with that. But if our numbers were significantly lower, the cost of having someone come in for 4 kids really wouldn't be worth it. So if we have enough kids that there was interest for after school, then we can certainly look into that. And as I'm looking around with different instructors, I can see what the options are for having something for beginners. If there's, and then we can throw something out to the community in the fall, we have enough kids, then we can definitely do something after school. But during the school day, I think Mrs. Cummins is, you know, limited on how far she can stretch, you know, our full-time music teacher. So that was kind of the option, is to have just beginner and intermediate instruction for our current fourth and, or next year's fourth and fifth graders, and that will continue each year.
What about those that were like in sixth grade this year and will be going up to middle school, but they're still in the beginner's level, as in their ability to play?
Yeah,
What would they be doing?
Yeah, we'll have to let the instructors that are coming in know that there's some kids that may be on circuit for 1 year, so hopefully they can work on getting them kind of caught up to where, or get at least some pieces where they can, you can have a beginner or maybe intermediate and advanced student kind of play the same piece.
I apologize, and I maybe missed it, but where are we getting the funding for these other instructors? I keep hearing that we're gonna hire instructors, but then we look at our budget
the cost of an instructor, and then the board would be able to maybe meet. So even if it, let's say it costs, and I'm just throwing a number out there, $5,000 for us to have an after-school person come in for band and orchestra. And if we had parents supplement that somehow and get some fundraising to kind of keep that afloat, and if the board had to contribute something towards it, it would really be a minimal cost.
Would there be scholarships for children who want to participate, but the funding was not there?
I think we make something possible. I mean, it's a public school, so we want to make sure that all of our kids have an opportunity to be able to participate in something. We hate for the cost to be an issue, so we make sure that will be covered as well.
So is the main issue with not having middle school band and orchestra during the day financial, or are there some other aspects involved? Because I was just wondering, I know like in the high schools, they have work study programs. I know that there's many kids looking to do either service or work study where they can go during the day. I'm speaking specifically of seniors who have musical backgrounds who could come into a school and help and volunteer. I'm just throwing that out as an idea. So I was just wondering, is it mainly a funding thing, or are there some other aspects that make it difficult to have a middle school band and orchestra?
I think we have space issues would be one. I think our middle school schedule is very packed, more so than probably other middle schools, with them having the foreign language and having logic and different things. Their schedule is very packed, so I'm not even sure timing-wise as far as fitting that into. I guess they could still do pull-outs, like, elementary school, they do pull-outs and classes. I don't know. That's an option. But I believe spacing is definitely an
So
issue.
it's more than just a financial thing.
Yeah.
It's a logistical thing with the schedule of the day.
Yes.
I think the financial aspect would be, in order to hire sufficient staff to be able to do it during the day, is not feasible with our budget. Hiring a contractor after school to maintain what we're doing now for the middle school, which is after school currently, to kind of maintain things, it's a lot more doable if we contract. We're adding more staff to this.
Also, there's a space issue with during the day. Where would they be if you're having two programs going simultaneously? Where would they physically be?
So as far as middle school electives, was there just more of an interest shown in art as an elective over band and orchestra? I'm just wondering which electives got chosen. I'm just curious.
The numbers for art is significantly higher than
As far as
for
the
band and orchestra for middle school. Art elective choices are running about 22-ish, 21, 2019, hovering around there. I don't have my middle school numbers in front of me, I'm just trying to go by memory. Our middle school numbers for band were about 12, I think, and around 12, and I want to say it was around that, or maybe a couple
And
less
same thing for orchestra.
for orchestra. And our chorus numbers are also around 25, 30.
So they're about 30.
Yeah, they're around 30.
Well, if you look at just the incoming sixth graders, I mean, those seventh and eighth graders didn't have a choice. They had to have pre-existing knowledge to be able to do band and orchestra. So it's really
That
our,
was on their elective. That was
It was a choice on that.
but I'm saying they would only be able to do it if their parents had paid for them to learn.
Right.
Whereas the incoming sixth graders have had the chance to learn in school. So if you were only looking at the sixth grade numbers, I'm just wondering how the electives
Right.
numbers
Even just the
went
sixth
out.
grade numbers were not nearly as high as I anticipated them being.
And we do have some
Let's
7th
say-
and 8th graders that are currently playing in the band, so they were included in that number as well.
Well, I think what's important to note is this tide is going to change. If you have so much interest, so we need to also be looking forward that it might need to be something that we are fundraising or whatever, or advocating for the extra space, because like my boys could not do band because they had no pre-existing knowledge. So they're not in your quota, they only had the choice of they either sing or they do art. Well, they chose art, that was a given. But now you have all these children who've had that opportunity, which I think is wonderful. They did not have to pay out of pocket, they had that exposure. You're going to be dealing with higher numbers, maybe not not this school year, but the following school year, that we're going to need to really think seriously to offer this opportunity through the school day, and staffing. So I think, again, it goes back to us advocating and pushing and fundraising to make it happen. So.
So with that, so just so we are clear though, the problem with fundraising is fundraising can't offset a salary. So not that we don't want support of everyone, but legally we can't use fundraising to pay for salary.
But it can build space.
I'm sorry?
It can build space.
It can build space, yes, but that doesn't help with our staffing. So we can have, then we have space, maybe then we still have the staffing issue of needing staff to fill the space. So we have a lot of elements there that we're looking at. So right now we're focused on at least getting something that this is going to be how the program will run. Not that things can't change in the future, but it's sustainable. This is what it's going to be year after year after year. So every year we're not reevaluating how is this program going to work, can we do this? And so that's our focus right now, is to create a situation that's somewhat sustainable for all, the best we can.
What if you had enough funds to have 2 programs after school?
Enough funds for the...
Advanced and beginner.
Right.
For younger kids and or older kids, or based on talent, beginning and advanced, both being after school, since he was saying after school is much more doable, and all the funds we raise can go towards that.
Yes.
And space isn't the problem because it's after school as
Right.
well.
That's a great idea. Yes. That's definitely something that we can look at. We were trying to maintain the most we could during the day, so we could obviously put that out to the population, you know what I mean, the community. So we were trying to maintain what we could during the school day and still provide some sort of band and orchestra for individuals rather than everything after. But that's definitely a very good recommendation and solution. But you know, it gets into that which way is better for all, and we're trying to make, hopefully everybody sees we're really trying our best to work with our facility, our budget, and staff constraints to continue something. So anything that we can work out that's feasible is on the table. So I definitely think that's great. It would just be a matter of if the majority of people that are interested support that, then we can definitely go down that.
Well, why don't you survey the parents over the summer?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, we can look into that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the final decision is made? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, with that being said, the end of the year, we have people coming in, new kids from 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th, and middle school, however this is effective. Is this going to be communicated to them within a week or two? Because your decision could be based off of, we had a great instrumental, that was one of the things they heard about this year, are we going to communicate to that to them ASAP as well?
The information will go out to everybody in the system, and you have to know, the only people we have notified for slots are kindergartners right now. Nobody else in any of the
Okay,
grades
I'm
have
not,
notified.
okay, sorry, okay.
So there was no changes for any of those individuals.
Thank you.
I'm just curious, how will the kids who elected for